Yo, 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 welcome back. Hope everybody's ready to make some money on this beautiful Saturday. College football picks of the day are in. And we're going to kick it off, starting with the UCF quarterback, John Plumlee. Last week, John Plumlee carved up the Oklahoma Sooners defense. Came down to a 2-point conversion at the end of the game to win the game. They didn't get it, but he threw for well over 235 yards last week. So getting the 235, 236 this week shouldn't be an issue against West Virginia pass defense that's below average at best. So we taking the over on John Plumlee. Next up, we got Drew Aller. Drew Aller played against Ohio State last week. Tough loss against Ohio State. Couldn't really do much in that passing game towards the end when Ohio State was just playing prevent defense. All year, Drew Aller hasn't broken 200 yards passing but once. So we're going to take the less on Drew Aller, going over 227 this year against a pretty stingy Indiana defense overall, especially the pass defense. Next, we got the dual threat quarterback, Donovan Smith. Last week, it came down to a controversial call against Texas. They should have won the game, in my opinion. The ref gave them a bad spot at the end of the game in the red zone. But Donovan Smith, he carved up the Texas defense, which is a pretty stingy defense on the year. He was passing it and running the ball on Texas. So we taking a fantasy score, 19.5. He should get to 19.6 pretty easily against a Kansas State defense that's an average defense. But we want to take the over on him. Next, we got Bo Nix. Bo Nix is one of the best quarterbacks in the nation. Last week they played against Washington State. He had his way with Washington State. Wasn't too much resistance. Carved them up pretty much. Washington State, a pretty good ball club. And he had his way. But this week he's going against Utah. Utah has one of the best defense, if not the best defense in the nation. But against the run, they're stout top 5 defense against the run. But against the pass, they're not as good. So we're going to say Bo Nix at Utah, who hasn't lost a game in about 20, I think they won 27 straight at Utah at home. So we're going to take Bo Nix with the fantasy score, more over against the Utah defense, who is pretty much due for a bad game at home. Next, we're going to take Michael Penix Jr., 35. He doesn't play particularly well on the road, but he's going against a Stanford's defense who has one of the worst pass defenses in the nation. So Michael should bounce back from last week's performance to try to get back at the top of the Heisman race. So 335 should be pretty easily attainable for him. I wouldn't have took him, but I took him because of the performance of last week. So I don't see him coming out the game early this week. I see him staying in and trying to pat them stats to get back towards the top of the Heisman race. Next and lastly, we're going with Blake Shapen, one of the best Big 12 quarterbacks, passing wise. He going against a stingy Iowa State defense. I was back and forth on Blake, mainly because Iowa State at home is totally different than they are at home, and same with Baylor. Baylor at home is a juggernaut, but on the road they're not as strong. So since the game was at Baylor, I decided to take the over on Blake, getting to 246. He should get there pretty easily. I don't see no resistance. Iowa State, they got a pretty good defense, like I said, at home, but on the road they're not as good. So we're going to take Blake for the over of 246 and a half. That concludes our college football picks of the week. Be on the lookout for the results. I will be dropping my results. I don't only post my predictions, but I post my results. On the year, I'm about 60, a little bit over 60% of my cards are hitting. So be on the lookout for that. And we will be posting an NFL card for you all tomorrow that you can use and take note on. As well, for NFL, I'm at about 55%, a little bit over 55% on the year. So be on the lookout for that. And lastly, we do NBA cards. NBA season has just started, so we will be dropping an NBA card daily. So tap in for that as well. And until next time, scary money don't make no money, so let's make a whole lot of money.